Hey folks, what's going on? HeirofCarthage back in Total War Warhammer 3, and we're going to be taking another look at the Chaos Dwarves upcoming DLC here. And I wanted to talk today about the cavalry in their unit roster. I covered their missile infantry in the last one. Cavalry's going to be big, and it's a huge thing to separate them from the standard dwarf roster, whereas the standard dwarves really only have one unit that can even be considered cavalry, and that is going to be gyrocopters. Now, of course, they can pick it up in campaign through the use of outpost, and that is probably something that you would want to do under those certain circumstances. But the Chaos Dwarves are going to have this available in multiplayer and from their own roster in campaign, and they have a pretty good variety of cavalry. Let's take a look at all of them here. We're going to start with the Hobgoblin Wolf Riders here. This is a melee cavalry that is going to be a pretty lightweight. It's not going to have a whole lot of staying power, but it will have pretty solid speed. It'll be great for getting after artillery pieces, for getting after, you know, unarmored archers and stuff like that. It's a light unit, maybe intercepting charges. It's going to give some needed speed around the battlefield at a relatively low cost. And then there is another version of them. This is going to be the Wolf Riders with Wolf Raiders with bows. And these hobgoblins do have the bows. This is going to be similar to like Greenskin's wolf cavalry with bows. Again, provides a very nice speed with a little bit of damage element to it. Not going to be anything amazing, but again, when they get into those fight against lightweights, could be quite nice. There is a Regiment of Renown version of him here. This is Ogla Khan's Wolf Boys. And so this unit here is going to be a little bit more powerful, have more armor. It's still going to be the bow unit, but they're going to be a lot better in melee than the other units were. Cowardly Despoilers, enabled if the unit is attacking the rear or flank, so they get extra damage into the rear flank, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, they get 3 different type of Hobgoblin. Again, these are the lighter, cheaper ones. All of these have the Vanguard deploy trait, which again can be handy. And then they're going to be 4 different Bull Centaur render units, 3 standard ones and 1 Regiment of Renown. The standard bull renders here have a shield, and I'll show you the block chance there. So it's a 55% block chance. It's pretty good. Monstrous cavalry unit. They come with pretty good damage. Their attack is not very high. Defense is kind of okay, but they get a pretty solid charge bonus and decent speed. So again, they're not going to be super fast, but they're going to be fairly tough units. Not a ton of armor, something to be aware of on them, but the shield is quite nice. And then we're going to have the Dual Axe variant, which drops the shield, which is also going to drop their melee defense, but it's going to bring in more damage against infantry, and you can see more charge bonus there as well, with a slightly better melee attack. So these are going to be a damage-dealing version. And then the final version here is going to be the Great Weapon variant, which is going to be anti-armor and anti-large. Again, they come in with a pretty decent charge bonus. Their attack goes down a little bit, as does defense, but they're going to dish out more damage against large. And then we've got the Regiment of Renown version of them, which is going to be yet another Dual Axe variant here. They have Scaly Skin, I believe, was the difference there. And this Revel in Fear passive. I don't think that's on the other ones. It is not. Yeah. It's a Contempt. So the Revel in Fear is something different for them there. They also have Guardian, so they can help protect a lord or hero. So interesting stuff there on that special unit. It looks like they have a slight, they have a slight range weapon here too. A short range, high damage axe, I think, is probably what they're going to be throwing. So we'll go check them out. So let's go get a look at some of these units in combat. I threw some Nurgle units over here again. Why Nurgle? I don't know. I hate Nurgle, and they're fun to kill, and they're slow. So I brought some Nurgle units over here for us to test stuff out. Here's the Hobgoblin Wolf Archers. So I brought some Nurglings and different variety of units here. So like I brought some Armored Infantry, I brought a large unit. And my objective here is to try and give you all a bit of a showing how these units perform when they get into the type of fight they're looking for. So like right here, I'll target the Nurglings because they're a low armor unit. And we'll kind of just mess with that there. And then this unit, I'm going to come in and see if we can do some damage to the Great Unclean One. That's the purpose of this unit anyway. Or I say that, no, I have another one. I'll see what their ranged weapons does to the Great Unclean One. And then I mean to hit the Great Unclean One with the anti-large variant. But let's see what those axes do some damage. That's some pretty serious damage. In fact, it's very short range. Like I said, limited speed, but those axes are going to do some pretty brutal damage. Let's go see what happens. No, run away, you fools. You're about to be great uncleaned. Alright, let's see what they can do to an armored Chaos Warrior. So I've got these units running around. I'm going to actually take them off of skirmish and kind of just pull them back. You all got to see them. Alright, here, let's throw some axes into those shielded warriors and let's see what it does. Pretty good, especially considering those guys have shields up, so it's going to be difficult to get these guys to use all that ammunition, but it is going to be pretty damaging when it hits. Alright, let's pull all these units back, and let's come in and get the fights we're looking for. Here's our great weapons. We're going to want to target that dude, and I'm going to bring these dual axe variant out here to deal with that infantry. And there we go. Let's pull our wolves, then we got our standard variety here. I'll slam it into one of these Chaos Warriors as well. So here is our Bull Centaur renders with great weapons. Let's go after that great unclean one. Just get an idea how they're going to perform. And then let's kind of just take it from there, one at a time here. Let's take our standard unit over here and slam into those ones, see how they do. Alright, so how are we going to do against a great unclean one? It's an expensive, powerful unit with a lot of hit points. It's got a decent chunk of armor. Wow, that poison. That's going to be rough. Nurgle is Nurgle. Look at these dual axes out here, just crushing that Nurgle warrior. Give you an idea, those guys are clearly effective in that fight. And I would say that these great weapon variants are effective, but just remember that any Nurgle unit's got a lot of hit points and it's hard to tank them, and there's a few Nurglings participating in that fight too. But look at that. That warrior just got absolutely pounded by the dual axe variant here. Tremendous performance there. Absolutely spectacular. I'm going to bring in this other dual axe variant and see if we can clear out some of these Nurglings. Even the standard variant over here is doing very well against those Nurgle warriors, so I think that these units are going to do quite good when you put them into the right element here, which means getting them into the fights where they excel. Look at this one's cleaning through a second one. It looks like the anti-large variant is good. Again, a great unclean one has a ton, an absolute crap ton of hit points, so let's charge in some of these wolf riders here. Let's maybe cycle charge this. Alright, let's see if we can do some damage here. So yeah, I think these big ones, they've had some Nurglings after them. They're getting value here. I don't know if they'll pay themselves off. I'm going to charge those Nurglings with the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, get them off the case of those units so they can perform. Look at this one's chopping through its second unit of Chaos Warriors and Nurgle. Okay, give these guys a cycle charge. Let's come back on over. Again, pretty impressive performance. Wolf Riders do good when you get them in their element against that really light infantry on quick charges. See, watch what happens when we charge them over here into the more heavily armored warriors. They'll probably fall apart some. Still, really good for just blocking something and then getting out of the way. These renders with dual axes are just brutal anti-infantry tools. Very effective. And that great unclean one is going to fall to the Bull Centaur Raiders, so they are going to pick up some pretty big value there. So again, a capable, potentially capable unit, depending on how it gets used. So I just wanted you to see these different varieties of cavalry. Is this like a perfect test? No, it's not a perfect test. The goal of this is just to introduce you to the roster and give you some idea of how these units are going to perform and in what realm they're going to perform best, right? It doesn't mean, like I said, that this is all-encompassing. We tested every scenario. No, it's not the purpose. Here's the units. Here's what they can do. You now use your imagination and think about where you would put them in the types of battles that you see yourself potentially fighting with the Chaos Dwarves. So, hope it was helpful, and I will be back with more content for you all soon. HeirofCarthage, signing out.